Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kim. Today I am here with Misty Manus and Dylan with Adventure Bags. So welcome, glad to have y'all with us.
Thank you, Kim, so much for having us.
Yeah, happy
Yes,
to.
it's light.
Thanks, Dylan. So first question, because it is Coffee with Kim, is do you drink coffee? And do you have a favorite if you do?
I do drink coffee, and just straight up coffee with French vanilla creamer is my favorite.
All right, Dylan, you're a coffee drinker?
I am a huge coffee drinker. I am definitely a Starbucks addict. I love my caramel macchiato.
That sounds good. That sounds delicious. Well, thanks for being here. So, your organization is Adventure Bags. Tell us, how did Adventure Bags get started?
Okay, great. So back in 2011, my business partner, she works for DFACS, and she had the task of traveling to California to obtain a sibling group of three. The state of Georgia had obtained legal custody, but before they could obtain physical custody, Mama absconded to California. When
Mm,
she and her colleagues arrived at LAX airport, they were greeted with these three children and their belongings in black trash bags. Um, you can't board an airplane with a black trash bag. So as they tried to figure out how to get these babies back to Georgia with their belongings, the middle child had an asthma attack, which now warranted that red-eye flight to be an overnight stay. And what wasn't in those black trash bags was anything to care for these kids. So Tracy and her colleagues found themselves at the airport gift shop putting together backpacks filled with those overnight essentials, your toothbrush, your body wash, your shampoo. But Tracy took it a step further and she had each kid pick out a stuffed animal, a blanket, a coloring book, and a crayon. Because remember, these kids really had nothing. Although they had belongings in the black trash bag, it really was nothing.
mhm.
But she immediately seen a difference that that backpack made in those kids' lives. We don't talk about the trauma that they had endured up until this point. The important thing is that those backpacks made a difference. It gave them something to call their own. It gave them a sense of security and comfort. So she came back to Georgia, told her mom about it, and Adventure Bags was born. Since 2011, we've served over 56,000 children across the state of
Wow.
Georgia.
Wow. That's amazing. So, um, so did you start working with them then? How long have you been with them?
So I actually started right after that. I've been with the organization since it began. I started off as a volunteer. My husband and I are former foster parents, and it's through our fostering journey that we connected with Adventure Bags. I remember giving them a call. We had an abundance of stuffed animals that we wanted to donate, and Miss Debbie and Tracy came out to the house, and we talked for 2 hours. Um, they left with us being partners with them and volunteering with them. And I told my husband, I said, I want to be a part of what they're doing. And so I started volunteering, and then as the years went on, I became a board member. And then in 2019, I had the pleasure to step in as their executive director.
Okay. Now, do you get, I guess this all works through DFACS, correct?
Not necessarily defects. So quickly after Tracy and I took over in 2019, we realized that there were so many different populations of kids that could benefit from our bags. And
Okay.
so we expanded to not only foster children, but we now serve children in domestic violence shelters, homeless shelters, children being rescued from human trafficking. We partner with school systems, law enforcement, firefighters. So there's a list of agencies that provide that direct service to those kids. And so we offer those bags to those agencies, and they in turn distribute them as needed to the kids that they serve.
Okay. So if somebody's watching this is like, oh, I know kids that would benefit, they need to get in touch with an agency who would then get in touch with you, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, we do not serve the general public.
Okay. Okay. Now, if someone's watching this, like when you first started and was like, oh, I want to be a part of this, like what are the different ways someone could be a part with Adventure Bags?
So, like Dylan actually started with us as a volunteer. He's volunteered with us several years. There's what you can volunteer with us on various occasions. We offer volunteer opportunities on Mondays and Thursdays. From 10 to 2. And we see a lot of retirees that actually come out, and I mean, they've really committed to this organization. It just gives them something to do after retirement, right? We also offer for students, we offer student volunteer opportunities every Wednesday from 4 to 6. And then other ways, if they're not local, because we are in the Winder area, you can host a donation drive. If you're a corporation, we do what we call offsite packing parties, where companies sponsor the bags and we bring the components and we help them pack adventure bags. A couple of big ones that we've done is Atlanta Gas Light. They helped us pack over 200 bags. We have one coming up next month with McKesson, I think it is. McKibben, I'm sorry. So yeah, just various ways that they can volunteer and get involved.
Okay. And would they call you? Would they contact you on your website? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Either way, they can contact us through our website or they can give us a call.
And if someone wanted to contribute financially, can they do that?
They can, of course. As a nonprofit, it sometimes can be a struggle, but all of those options are on our website as far as how to donate monetarily. And if it's a company and they want to do a sponsorship, then we also offer those opportunities as well.
Okay. Okay. Thinking back, maybe the last year, is there like, I don't know if you have contact with the people who actually get these bags, but are there any success stories you have? Any just stories that you have to share?
There actually is. Now we don't often come in contact with the kids that we serve, but we get those testimonies through um, our partnering agencies. And one that really sticks out to us is one of our local deputies. I think it was 2 years ago. Valentine's Day was 2 years ago, and they unfortunately had to work a murder suicide here in our community,
Mm,
and it tragically affected three children. And as they pick the kids up from school, obviously because the home is a crime scene, they can't go back to that
mm,
home. So these kids literally had nothing. And so they reached out to us. We provided adventure bags to those youths, and it was those adventure bags that actually got them through that night of staying in a hotel with, you know, law enforcement and case managers until family members could come from out of state to pick them up. And the investigator still tells the story that those bags made a huge impact in those kids' lives during that traumatic event.
wow. Yeah. Sounds like it made a big difference for sure. That's a sad story to hear, also a
It
heartwarming
is. It
story.
is.
It's both for sure. What is your biggest challenge right now?
Our biggest challenge right now is space. We started out in what we call a she shed on our founder's property, which is a small building. In 2020, we relocated to a bigger facility in downtown Winder, which was double the size of what we were in. And then in 2021, we relocated again to an even larger facility. But we are busting at the seams where we're at. We're thankful for where we're at. We're located at the Wimberley Center in Winder. We occupy 4 classrooms here and some extra space, but it's truly becoming a challenge to host the volunteers that we have. We're limited to about 10 to 12 volunteers at a time because of the space. And to serve as many kids as we serve, we need a larger facility. We need our forever home.
Okay. And is that in process? Is what's
So October of last year, we kicked off our Forever Home Capital campaign, and that's looking for that potential building or land, whatever it looks like, and also securing it. So if anyone out there, has land that they're willing to donate or sell at a discount, because we are a nonprofit. If you have a industrial building or warehouse space, we're that's what we're looking for.
gotcha. Okay. Okay. Now, kind of when you were talking, it made me think going back. When you talk about the volunteers coming, are most volunteers coming to help pack bags?
So Dylan, I'll let you answer that as far as when volunteers come in. What does a day of adventure bags look like as a volunteer?
So For me, volunteering is coming and learning how to pack the bags. Yes. I would even take it a step further and say, even as an intern, like I think, of course, it's emphasized, you learn the story, you learn how to pack the bag, so you're automatically knowing what you're doing as soon as you are coming to pack the bag. But I think more so as an intern, I've gotten to see the direct impact automatically. And I think that that just gives more meaning to what we do. But as far as a day goes, I would say that it's kind of crammed just because, like Misty said, like the space is so little. But we do have a group of ladies that are passionate about what we do, and they really work together to help, the operation come together. And I really enjoy working with them.
Yeah. So Kim, a day you could come in and pack bags. You could be coming in to tape liquids. You could be assembling, sorting and assembling pencil packets. When I say that, if we get a pack of 24 crayons, we sort those out and we make various sets to make them go longer or further, I should say. You could be unloading a van, you could be loading a van. So you never know what you're getting into when you walk
Rolling,
into the door.
rolling blankets.
So,
Okay. But it's all related to putting those bags together in some way.
yes, it's a process. It's not a matter of just throwing things in a backpack. It's everything is very meticulous, to make sure that these kids feel like they are getting something special.
Now, do you prefer someone to donate money? Can they donate the supplies? Do you have a supply list online?
We
What is
do
the
have a
best?
supply list online,
Okay.
but I'll be completely transparent. We firmly believe people love to give tangible items, and that's absolutely okay as long as they're new items. We don't accept any used items. We've learned over the years that different people's used is or gently used
Yeah.
is different, right? And I
Right.
say that with all due respect. But to be honest with you, if you give monetarily, I can order them in bulk. I can order supplies in bulk and get a lot more for your money. But we do absolutely accept donations because, there's just people out there that would rather give tangibly, and I completely understand that.
Right. Have you ever figured out a certain cost per bag?
Yes, ma'am. We actually just did that in January. And so our bags are age and gender specific. So we serve all the way up from infant to 18 years old. So
That makes
your
a
infant,
difference. Yeah.
toddler, young kids are generally, and then are generally about $75. And then our teens and our tweens are right at $100.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Um, so thrilled to learn about all that y'all are doing and making a difference in the community. What is something that is bringing you joy in your life right now? And it can be related to this or it can be personal.
Well, I'll tell you, me personally, I've always been told if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I find that very true with this organization. Like I said, I took over as the executive director in 2019 as a volunteer. I worked full time from 2019 and 2022 through 2022. It wasn't until 2022 we were in a position to bring me on full time. And it has absolutely filled every void that I can imagine in my life. As a survivor of abuse and as a young child, to be able to give back to the kids that I can relate to, not just on a personal level, but through my first fostering journey, it is truly, truly an amazing feeling, and I'm very grateful and very humbled to be in the position that I'm in. What about you, Dylan?
Can I just say my degree is coming and I'm looking forward to that. Better opportunities to as well make a difference. I remember when I first found social work, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And then, I really started to find a niche and probably gone to the school setting where I feel like that is my calling. So,
Yep.
but just being here and witnessing the change firsthand has been very remarkable. And I feel very blessed to be able to be a part of it.
That's amazing. Well, thank y'all so very much for your time and for being with us. Once this goes on Facebook, for those of you watching, I'll put phone numbers and websites and all of that information. So thank y'all again.
Kim, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure. And if there's anything else we can do, please let us know.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.